All right, welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear, please, and thank you. Because you know what? That's how we want to be heard, loud and clear. So do let us know if you wonderful folks are hearing us loud and clear tonight. Good to have all of you in the ring, live and direct. Wilma, Rosetta, Mark, Shireen. Good to have you here tonight, Shireen. Anthony is here as well. Evelina Whitaker. Edward Brooms, Cheryl, the whole gang. All the important people are here tonight. Avril and Wayne and Mr. John Jones. George is you. Gail Mingo is here. Rita, Wenda, Mandy. Good night to all of you folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I trust that you guys have had a really good day today. Angela says loud and clear. Lynn coming your way first thing tomorrow. Yeah, that being said, folks, I trust that you guys have had a great day. You hit the ground running, and now that we're at the end of the day, kind of easing up the throttle a little bit there. You know, don't give it too much gas. You're kind of throttling down. Rosetta, Barton, and Dan, how many of you drive stick gear? Well, last year, driving stick gear. You know, when I was growing up, automatic was the odd thing. One person I knew, or maybe two, you know, had automatic vehicles. Everybody had to know stick gear. You didn't go in no place. You were stuck. No automatic. Stick gear was a stick gear. Good night, Dan, Give Zandy, Claudette Phoenix, and all the other folks who are joining us. A great evening to all of you. I got Diane, John Jones, Michaela, Marna, Everett, Mark, Joylyn. Good to have you too. And all you beautiful folks who are joining us. 600 of you. So much you all should have got dress a little proper. If you haven't realized it yet, I like this pink tie. If you haven't realized it yet, and much more so, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Cancer Awareness Month. You know, I can rock this pink tie all month. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, the way you got a green screen and a blue screen and a white screen. Sometimes the colors you wear, yeah, they say bleeds into the screen. That's the word is bleed. We don't want the thing to look too bad. You know, we know all of that. It's not CNN or CBS or NBC or whatever. You know, but we can try a little something. Get down the road. Greta, good to see you there. Marcia, I'm easing you all in. Easing you all into the broadcast this evening. Apologies couldn't be with you last evening. We had a very important meeting, and even though I didn't expect it to go so long, it did. And I wanted to get every bit of it so we can keep bringing you folks the valid and credible information. Good? Humi says, Shared, I hope is you and not AI. You just never know. Right? Humi, you just never know. You know, is it AI? Is it? Is it? Right? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Right? But we get it right. Whatever it is, folks, you better believe it. We are going to get it right. You don't got to worry about a thing. One way or the other, we get it right. We trust that all of you folks are great, wherever you're joining us from this evening, that you are good. You had a great day, and you know, you just, at this point, you just keep on keeping on. You know, at this point, you just keep on keeping on. We trust that all you folks are great, wherever you're joining us from. You don't bother if it's AI or what have you, homie. We're sending you all our thoughts, so this age we live in. Quite a bingo. Osman Mendonca, Brian Lewis, I do these things just for you. Just for you. I see Brian Lewis has joined us. Naomi, good evening to you. Let's talk to Brian for a second, man. Stop distracting me. Brian has joined us. Brian says Maseruni in the house. Hold on, Brian. Hold on. I just want to be clear. Brian, hold on. Which party Maseruni? I want to be specific. I know them boys now. We got a very high-tech kind of detention facilities in this country. You could be serving life. You could be there for a long time. You could come out, go home, you know, cohabitate, Or let me go back once the price is right. So which part of Mazzaroni? I'm sending those hearts to all of you, just in case. So you have no doubts. Send them to all of you. We hope that you guys are good and well. Some of you think. Blood of gates. Good evening, folks. I'm so happy that you all are here with us. As I said, we trust that you guys have had a great day. Yeah, let's get some trench crappers who will come and say something out of the way. You know, you must get some who will come and say something out of the way. You know, we used to say, that's what we used to say. The out of timing. Was that it? The out of timing. You see, out of timing. You give me easy time. Give me easy time. Soon as they come. Soon. Yeah. Soon. Hoping you can ever start your talk with AI. You can ever start you talk with AI tonight. You can ever start. We're going to have all of you on with us. Alison Cortez. They come to rain and we parade, but we're not allowing it. We're not allowing it. You know, I'm so grateful for technology. Zayda Arzobia. You know what it is? You somewhere it's just started raining and you can't escape it. Stories this now. The walking poet. Leslie and Angela, I do this just for your benefit, you know. Self-flagellate, is that the word? Flagellate, self-flagellate. Just for your benefit, to put a smile on your face. Just so that you don't have to take the albendazole, you're going to take the selazine, the ketoconazole, you're going to take the, what else there is? All the pills and prints, you know, you're going to take the augmentin, you know, try to keep you all healthy with a little lightness. A little lightness. Y'all look around, we funny though. We have not unleashed all of our AI capabilities, you know. We want frighten y'all. You know, what was witchcraft and so on 100 years ago is no science. It's no science. But I'm happy that all of you, wonderful folks, you have joined us this evening from the many places that you all are joining us from. Naomi says, carry some of that rain to Houston and help to wash Ashwin's troubles away. My God. My God. Samantha says, love it. I need Atkins. I need Atkins. Good to have you on the live tonight. Kurt Heidekan, good to have you too. Kurt says, yeah, umbrella. Yeah, you know what you say, you put an umbrella in a building, somebody get dead. Did I get it right? You open an umbrella in a building, somebody's going to die. Kwame, good to see you here. That being said, folks, I finished the warm-up now. Let us go on to other things. I trust, as I said, that all is well where you guys are joining us from. We got a number of things we want to pass your way. It's a lot happening. And I'm happy that let us pick up where Naomi wanted to take us just now. Take this rain and wash away the dark clouds over Houston. Houston, we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem. You know, some of y'all have vexed me tonight. 1,400 of you watching us 10 minutes into the broadcast. And you got what? 99 emojis. My God. What's the ratio there? What's the ratio? What is the ratio? 1,400 plus. What's 1,500 now? 99 of 100 of you now. 100 of you. Everybody take it easy. Welcome to our broadcast, folks. Wherever you're joining us from, as I said, let us go for a sec where Never wanted to take us with the dark clouds and all that over Houston. As you are going to know by now, that Ashwin Mohammed, businessman and leader of WAIN and in the presumptive leader of the opposition, they were sanctioned last year, indicted this year, and that is being done under the 1924. Well, that's America. it is widely held that the Americans are going to ask for them to be extradited. And this is going to be done under the 1924 Extradition Treaty and the Fugitive Offenders Act, of which we are a party to this international treaty, the 1924 Extradition Treaty. And of course, we also amended the Fugitive Offenders Act just last year. And of course, by now you know that the PPP and the Attorney General has already said that once requested, they will facilitate the extradition of Ashraf Mohammed and his father, Nazar Shell Mohammed. Yesterday morning, in case you know, you're now catching up, Mr. Mohammed put up a statement on his Facebook page that he is fond of the Blue Factory Canary because it sings well. And that was widely believed to be saying to the government that if you dare extradite me, I will say exactly the things that I know that y'all are involved in. And some people have interpreted that another way to say, well, something here must be true. Because you got stories for them, they got stories for you. So interesting times ahead by any measure. Yep. Interesting times ahead by any measure. I wish we were in a different place, but this is the cards that we got, and we got to play. We have to play. Paul Slow, who at the height of his career as a senior assistant commissioner of police, retired in that senior position. When he speaks on these matters, I listen. And on a recent broadcast, Paul Slow added a different dimension, a different bowling, you know. You got some ordinary bowling, and then sometimes you see some bowling with flair. Y'all know I had a liking for Malinga. He had a fancy pelt. You see Malinga coming, man, move out the way. He had men like Walsh and Ambrose and so on. And a different kind of bowling that former retired Senior Assistant Commissioner of Police, Paul Slow, he posited. Now what Paul said is tremendously interesting. His frame of mind, his thought process suggests that one of the reasons why Parliament has not yet been reconvened, it is because good folks, the government knew that this extradition was in the works. And they do not want Ashraf Mohammed, the We Invest in Nationhood Party leader, to be installed as the opposition leader. And that this delay, this lengthy delay, is as a result of them holding off until the Americans make the request. They probably already know the day the request is going to be made. And then they're going to acquiesce. My God, isn't that a beautiful word? Is it an English word? Acquiesce to the request of the Americans for the extradition of Ashraf Mohammed and Shell Nazar Mohammed. Right? And then you'll see in between that time, the comings and the goings. We can get a lot of fireworks. You think that bridge fireworks was anything to go by? We're going to have a lot of fireworks. And that is what we listened into Paul Slow's program quite recently as a fantastic, popular program on social media. Speaking truth to power. Speaking the truth. Paul Slow on this issue. Take a look, take a listen.
Retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow is wondering whether the delay in the president issuing the proclamation for the sitting of the 13th Parliament isn't deliberate.
So this morning, when I learned of the indictment against the Mohammeds, I asked a question. I asked myself, and I'm still searching for an answer, whether this was not deliberate. I asked myself, the delay in proclaiming, issuing the proclamation to convene the 13th Parliament.
He said that the delay may be because the government was aware of the indictments against the Mohammeds.
We are in some interesting time. We are in uncharted waters. And the uncharted waters, and it looked like the GPS and walking. Because you know it's GPS who does send you where you gotta go. You're in uncharted waters, and the global positioning system, GPS, now work. So nobody will know where to go. Now work.
Slow said that after the indictments, he expects the United States to seek the extradition of the Mohammeds.
So I would expect the U.S. authorities will make the formal request for Azzuddin Mohammed and his father to be extradited to the U.S. to face these criminal allegations, right? Now, government can't extradite you. The government of Guyana can't extradite them.
The matter would have to be determined in court.
Now, we can very well expect that once the process to extradite Azzuddin Mohammed and his father has been initiated, one can, if it has not been initiated yet, right? We can expect a robust challenge in the courts of Guyana.
That's what he said. A robust challenge in the courts of Guyana. So this got some ways to go. I have no doubt that Mr. Mohammed perhaps has already lawyered up, and they know exactly as soon as X happens why it's going to take place. And when something comes to counterbalance why something else goes into play. So we're in for it, folks. We in for it. I just have to get a little front row seat to the whole thing. And of course, I know you're all fast, so I will keep you all up to date all the time. But sadly, this is where we are. Sadly, this is where we are. I would rather we have been talking about the people. Us being able to help the people move the needle on their concerns. You know? Looking after their lives and livelihoods. But here we're talking. But the extradition, historic capturing 16 seats, historic indictment, it's historic sanction. Yeah, one for the history books. One for the history books. Paul Slow might be onto something. There's no, at least the government hasn't proffered a reason, besides saying that they're within the legal remit to hold off on Parliament. They have 4 months from the dissolution or from the election back to Parliament. But there's so much that requires our attention as legislators in the National Assembly. There's so much. And these guys are going to boast they got a robust legislative agenda and all of that, but they don't seem in a hurry at all. They don't seem in a hurry at all to get back into the National Assembly. What say you, man, the comments? What say you, Mark and Karen and Jonathan? Desiree, what say you? That is Paul Slow's thinking. Paul Slow's thinking. Now let's turn our attention now to some other matters. Some lighter matters. Perhaps. Amongst what's in the desire of Forward Guyana movement. I went to Mansa, the Maritime Day event they had at the stadium. There was a display on and booths and exhibitors and boats and so on. Of course, you know, this is part of Amansa's specialty as an attorney at law. This is where her craft has been honed and sharpened in the area of maritime law. And, Amanza giggled with me a little bit there on the tarmac of the Providence Stadium. And I think she said, "The try with me, Duncan, the try with me." I said, "Well, we got to hold them off. we got to keep fighting. We got to keep fighting forward. Listen to me. If you have an easy time in politics, you know what's going on. If nobody coming after you, nobody and speaking ill of you, it's much on par with your Christian faith. If things going too smoothly, when things going down, call him Father, there's a God. You prove him for yourself. It's not in good times. Right? It's in extraordinary times. Right? It's the crucible of leadership forged. It's on fire. It's not in peacetime. Look, some of you take shame out your eyes by 190 emojis. Do not get weary in well doing. So Manzo sat down recently with new sources hosted by Svetlana Marshall, fantastic journalist. Svetlana Marshall, real old school, understands the fundamentals, and she knows how to bend it sometimes. Too many of our young journalists do not understand the fundamentals. So many of our young people, period. You got to understand the rules, the nature of the thing. And then you know how to bend those rules to your will. That's why I love the English language. When you understand token came, but it can't make you nothing. So Manzo sat down with Svetlana Marshall, senior journalist, Svetlana Marshall, I think over the weekend, and discussed a number of the things. And one of the things she talked about was the challenges of women in politics. Now, I would love to be able to identify, but I gotta let the sister speak. I gotta let her speak from her lived experience in this regard. I gotta let her speak. The challenges she's had, of course, she's in a coalition with the Right Reverend gentleman, right? And then she's in a coalition with VPAC as well. And then they managed to get a seat in the last election, thing they call a joiner seat. They came together because of the remainder seat, right? It's a seat nonetheless. Don't let me go into at least the anatomy of what the remainder seat. And then now it's a lot of challenges because VPAC says that they should have the parliamentary seat, dust off and clean and sanitize for at least a year. And I saw a man to them, this is for the other movement, saying, show the agreement. Show us the agreement. Right? Show us the agreement. And so I think a month is going to take 3 years, and then Nigel London, I always forget Nigel's party's name. You all help me, Kingdom something. All right. He's going to get 2 years. But VPAC was of the contention, I think is of the contention, that they should have a year. And I think I heard Francis Bailey of VPAC says that when the time comes, he dressing in his suit and tie, and he going to Parliament to occupy VPAC's seat for that year. I don't think it's too much to ask, really. I don't think it's too much to ask. 2 or 3, 1, 1, or 2, 2, 1. But don't let's be this be the defining moment for the Ghana movement. Don't let it be it. Right? The challenges of women in politics, the challenges of women in leadership. Manzo Wharton this year, speaking with Svetlana Marshall over the weekend.
Women in politics, women in leadership. We have a very difficult time. I think the patriarchal nature of our society does not accommodate women being firm, being principled, and sitting in their truth and in sitting in what they want and being firm about what they want.
That was Amansa Walton Desir responding to a question about the attacks she faces within her coalition. She has been called a bully, dishonest, and unprincipled. She's going to Parliament as the representative of her political alliance. However, a member of her coalition isn't supportive.
I think we have grown accustomed in our society and politically, and particularly in the political sphere, we've grown accustomed to women always being the ones that are accommodating and moving aside. And so when you see women take a decision that they will determine the course of their destiny, a lot of people are not sure how to react to that.
She said that a confident woman is perceived in a certain light. The opposite view holds true for a man, she said.
And so what you're seeing, I think, is the manifestation of the difficulties that women in leadership face. I'm unfazed by such labels because I know who I am.
She said that women are judged differently from men in other areas.
There's something ongoing right now where the First Lady is being bullied online for being too thin. But Odessa Primus and Coretta McDonald are being bullied for being of a certain weight and appearance. And so it doesn't matter where you are as a woman or on what side of the political divide you find yourself as a woman. It seems as though you're always subject to attacks.
I'm just happy to hear my own business. Drinking my water and minding my own business. I'm just happy. I'm just happy. Leader of the Forget movement there, she went on in that interview to talk a little bit, approaching 9 o'clock, quicker in a hurry. She went on in that interview to talk a little bit about GCOM and some needed changes at GCOM. And I give her a plus here because GCOM has been under the radar from all of these international, what do you call them? My God, election like it was 5 years ago. International election monitors. Y'all help me. My God. Tussle Floyd. Where it was the Commonwealth, where it was the EU, where it was the Carter Center, the International Observer Mission. That was it. Right? That took a while. That took a while. As one gets turned in names, Melissa Jonas. The National Observer Mission has had a lot of things to say about GCOM, and not all good. GCOM needs to overhaul, too politicized, clear lines of function, right? Tabulation process too convoluted, you know. Too many of the leadership of GCOM at the behest of the powers that be. Thank you, Delon. Something. The National Observer Missions. What happened there? You know? Glitch with the glitch. So she spoke to those issues in this interview with Svetlana Marshall. You know, I had a glitch for a moment there. Take a look.
The Ghana Elections Commission needs a revamp, says Amansa Walton this year. In a television interview, she said that apart from the People's Progressive Party and the Partnership for National Unity, no party has representation on the commission.
There is need for the entire configuration and construct of the Ghana Elections Commission to change. This arrangement was intended to be a temporary arrangement, and it is almost 30 years old, if not more than 30 years old. It has to change. The Ghana Elections Commission needs to become a technical body staffed by competent technical persons.
She said that GCOM is an aberration when compared with other electoral bodies across the world.
Therefore, we want the entire system changed so that it reflects the growing electoral reality of where we are. And by God, for the first time, we have the resources to do it. And I hope our message is to the people of Guyana. The institutions have to be fixed. It was not even acceptable that they were not functioning when we did not have the resources to pay people properly, to attract professionals. Now that is no longer an excuse.
She said that there is the issue of fake identification cards. One voter found that his identity was changed without his permission. GCOM had said that it had forwarded the issue to the police. To date, nothing seems to have been done.
And GCOM has done nothing to convince us that this is being earnestly pursued. Nothing. So we do not know whether there are other fake IDs existing in the system and how many. And you know what is galling for me is that we do not understand that whilst these things may seem politically expedient, the world is looking at us and laughing.
Watching at us and laughing. Yeah. That matter there is a serious one with the ID card. And that matter there should have been pursued by GCOM. How come we don't know the outcome of that as yet? Perhaps that violation there is more widespread than we know. Perhaps it is more widespread than we know. Ladies and gentlemen, in no other country on earth, you would have these infractions in the electoral process. And they just go quiet. There is no conclusion to them that we know of. They just go quiet. In the same way, you all remember local government election of 2023, when persons were found to have forged signatures of people who were dead. You remember when Jadu had to apologize? When the people come out and say, my mother dead, how come she signed this form here? How come she fight this form for this person? They were cheating. Whatever happened to that? That investigation. Whatever happened to it? And we heard time and again, when the people came in, Nandlal himself took all of those names. He thought they were fake, people who were overseas and miraculously voted election day 2020. He took all of that to verify the veracity of it, but he never come back to the public. He never come back to the public and say a word. What were his findings? When the chief immigration officer, the commissioner of police, what did he find? Did he find something different than the previous commissioner of police? Because those names were submitted to the previous commissioner of police. You all remember of the goodly gentleman's name, the previous commissioner of police, and he said, when they did their cross checks and so on, the people who were overseas unless they come to backtrack to vote. So what did he find? When we checked, I thought they would have been throwing that in our face and some fake and fraudulent and so on, but that went quiet too. That went quiet too. We gotta watch these things. We gotta watch these things. You know? We got to overhaul a clean voters list, biometrics, overhaul the whole thing. I see how ease up with the emojis, eh? We got 2,700 of you. What's the ratio? 252 emojis. What's the ratio there? Y'all have reading maths, Jesus. Y'all help us with the ratio. Help us with that. We're going to overhaul GCOM. And you know what? It must go. Let's start with that. There is some fresh blood. I don't know if I saw Scarlett 3 times during these elections. I don't know if I saw her 2 times. Leading from behind. She must go. That being said, folks. That being said, I was in Family Town today. Region 3, Stanley Chung, touched base with beautiful residents in Stanley Chung. The fed up of flooding. They are fed up of flooding. Fed up. You know, I think the people of Stanley Chung, I remember the people from right here in Peters Hall, what's the adjacent area there? Providence. Those people have been flooded out so often. It's like I pass now. A cocoa door break, cocoa door left open, cocoa door missing, cocoa door. And they get no compensation whatsoever. I did a reel today on my Facebook page. I don't know if you guys have seen it as yet. And spoke to this a little bit. Folks, how can we get trillions of dollars in this economy? I see the men talking about 40,000 house lots, non homes, but you can't fix a cocoa door. I saw the First Lady today talking about being part of the restoration of Georgetown and this plan and program and proposals, and maybe because a cocoa door is only maybe a 20 million. Them boys don't want to take down. Right? There's nothing there for the boys. You see? But these things ought to be checked ever so regularly, monitored. But it's not. That is not the case. Everybody just concerned with the billions. And so on Monday last, the cocoa door blockway, because nobody has been monitoring it, the wear and tear on the door, the high tide came in, or the water come in and block away the door, flood the people out. They said they saw the folks from the RDC there, Region 3. They text them names and so on. Didn't see them back. Folks, when I saw the state of some of those places, the mud those people got, and they build up the place so that the water can't come because they're so accustomed to the flooding. You know, when you build up the front of the house, you put a little wall down there, you got to step over to get in the house. The water will till over there, so it's running off by itself. If you see mud and muck and tadpole and cricket and crab and snake, you get some hasta, some hori. I think I saw a butterfish, right? Or might have been a trout. Or where's the common one? A Bangabari, a Bangameri. Could have been all of them. And I thought, my God, this is going to be some back-breaking work. This is going to be some back-breaking work. We spoke to a couple of the residents there. I think the government ought to go in there and say you can help them people. Serve your time. Give your service in this country. You're retired now, and they're walking out. You have to bail out mud and fish and woolly and grass and cockabane, all kinds of things. Big shout out to the folks for there in Stanley Chung for having us today. Big shout out to them. Beautiful folks. We spoke to a couple of them today. Good folks. Take a look. Alerted of this flooding happening here.
I ordered that the cocoa door break. So it didn't have my granddaughter just go to lessons. So when I see she coming, and then when I go out there, I see that they're trying has to fix this cocoa. Traffic can't coming from this side nor on the other side. People have to come out and walk over, and who coming from that side come across. So they're saying that they're trying to fix this cocoa because they don't want to affect us. But then Tuesday morning, I was asleep. And when I heard my neighbor knocking. So I say, we then nail in this early morning. And me ain't got no time with he. But then when one of my neighbors came from across the road and he knocked the window, who knocked me window so early? Harry open the window and come out here. I open the door and go out. It's water all over the yard. I turn and I say, what is this? The water already reached in the veranda. And I let you know if he didn't come, it would have seep in through the front door.
You were able to prevent that.
Yes. And then I said, oh my, and then we start hustling and we get sandbag with the help of friends and we put it in front to the veranda. But then the people them from the NDC that was here and they know is about with the cocoa. Is the cocoa really? If it was not the door, it won't get no flood. So they work tirelessly and they got the problem fixed. So Wednesday, we didn't get any flood.
It's sad they didn't fix the problem earlier to prevent it in the first place. You know, it's sad. What kind of damages you might estimate you might have had here, and maybe your neighbors, some of who aren't home, sadly, because maybe the dwellings are
Yes,
habitable.
it had people in the canal, you know, will get affected. Because remember this canal runs straight up till the Conservancy. So the people more down at the back there, I heard that was affected, the water go in
I
on
see.
them.
I
Yes.
see.
My neighbor is not at home to talk to see because he got pigs.
And so on.
So,
And we see some cows down the line, so
yes,
as well.
the cows them on the line because the water reached till to the road. So let me call you farmer. He had to come his work and he didn't get to go to work that morning because he's a cane harvester. And he had to stay and to get his cows, but with a higher ground.
Yeah, I see. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Let's come out the rain. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what one of the residents told us there in Stanleytown. We spoke to yet another resident who was equally affected by this flooding there again in Stanleytown, Region 3.
About this flooding that transpired here, how it started, and maybe what has happened since in terms of what the authorities may have told you.
we
or
didn't
not.
know. We didn't know how it started. We were sleeping. So the morning we hear like if somebody trying to break in. So my cousin wake up and he run downstairs, and as he reached down, it splash. It was this high already. So we couldn't do nothing.
So
we come
what was
down.
that song that you heard? Like you said somebody
It
was
was
trying to
the
break
parrot. The
in.
parrot.
Oh.
We have a parrot, you see?
And so I
parrot
heard it was
too.
the coca here
Yeah.
that the door was damaged or something of that sort.
Yes.
Was that something that was happening long, or
Well, I wasn't able to see if it happening long or no, but
is flooding here like a usual thing? This is Stanleytown. It's flooding here. When last
well,
year
not that often, but this was bad. This was bad.
This is bad. So this is
This
the
was bad.
downstairs
This is downstairs.
of where you are living.
This is the
We're
chair,
seeing,
everything.
your chair.
The
What
fridge.
else?
But you can smell the food. The stuff inside still spoiled. The fridge,
Wow.
the not generator,
The
the
pump.
transformer.
Transformer.
Not your we call the welding plan and a you know the thing to the current. These things here
The
and
transformer. You
the
got some
washing
clothes
machine,
here.
all the clothes. Well, every other thing we had to.
And the parrot is right here too. That was causing
Yeah,
the
I
alarm.
put it inside so that
Yeah.
nobody steal it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The chair set, we had to fit. The washing machine,
You got quite a bit of damage here, man.
yeah. The fridge.
Now this area comes under the Region 3 RDC. Anybody came around to talk to you all about this?
Yes. The same day. They would have said it from. Where was it to bring them? Right.
Yeah, I came the same day.
And what did they say? What did they say?
They come to take picture and video and they say they're gonna send it to the minister.
They took us name and our number. You know, they took my name and my number. I know what it is.
Yeah, they took name and number too.
And have you heard from them since? This
No.
was a Monday?
No.
No, you got a lot of damages here. We saw some of the other neighbors further down the line.
Yeah.
What might you all want to see come of this? You said your fridge,
It's the fridge, the washing
machine here.
If we could be compensated back, we don't even care about money. Once they buy the stuff and bring it back, I know my aunt will be happy because it's really my aunt's stuff. And I know she would be happy because at the age she can't work to buy back anything. And they lately buy this, as you could see. It's not even our old washing
you guys
machine.
are going to clean up all this stuff here? It's a lot of mud and
we
salt
gotta
and
do it. We clean out here. This is the most we clean. So we have to fetch out things. The other, it got other tools that damaged too, like the saw and other things that work with current. It was a mess.
Is it the first time it has flooded to this extent?
Yeah, for her, yeah. She get flood before, but it didn't damage nothing.
And do you know how long it was that last time, the last flood that happened?
This one here?
No, the last flood that happened.
No.
The sister
I
told us that
can't.
this one started about Monday, right? This episode of flooding here, about Monday.
Monday after the cocoa.
The cocoa door.
Yeah.
Yes. But the water didn't come in, but not so high.
It come in truth what she's saying, but here what happened, I went out to check and to find out, and they said they fix it. So as they said, the night they said they fix it. They told me they fix it. So we come home and sleep comfortable because it fixed. It's 4 o'clock. If it wasn't for this parrot, we wouldn't even know nothing. I tell you, if it wasn't for the parrot, we wouldn't know nothing until people sing.
I hear you.
What do you tell out?
Tell out
So-
to the
so you
tell
want-
out there, to the tell there.
Still on the road. These are your cows here?
No, the guy across you.
Okay.
The water was still here.
Yes, he had to move his cows then and so.
Wow. So you all would welcome some compensation or the replacing of
Yeah,
the stuff that was
compensation, anything. Anything, they compensate the thing, we
We were
don't
trying
mind.
this neighbor next door.
I don't think
but we
they're
heard
home
that they
or
weren't
no.
home. But did you guys have a chance to talk? Maybe you know what
I
they
talk,
damaged there
but
and
from
so on?
what I hear, they had things under the house, like engine and other stuff. Valuable things, from what I heard.
And you said you don't know necessarily how long this cocoa door here has been damaged.
No, I only could tell you who I went out and find out. Because the evening when it did happen, the water came like up to, let's say, but it didn't reach inside, right? And then I walk on the road to find out what's going on because I didn't understand what's going on. And they say they break and they fix it. So we didn't expect it because we would have tried to see what we could have moved.
Wow. It's a lot of damages here.
All right. Yep. Stanley Chung, folks. Stanley Chung. Our thoughts with the folks there who suffered the damages and so on, and hope the authorities step in and help it. Doesn't often and over people get suffer terrible losses in this country due to flooding and no fault of their own. You know, those young women don't control the cocoa door. Somebody left it to deteriorate. They don't monitor. They don't check, and then you got to replace your fridge, you got to replace your washing machine, some engine, some transformer, something like that. You know? Thank God for the parrot. Thank God for the parrot. It could have been worse, you know. Thank God for the parrot. And let's leave it there, folks. That's our time for this evening. And that's our broadcast. We're going to see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. Thank God for the parrot. Lovely Lily and Gary and Everett and Leslie. Mark, good to see you there as well. Rosetta, Sharon, and Neville. Joan, Children Shipper, good to see you on the night tonight, my brother. Bernice, good to see you too. And Savage Wumi, yes, you. Good to see all of you. Good to see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. Stay safe. Stay